That's what some people tell me. We can't pick up them homeless people no more, Pastor. So you got to send them people away. Ain't this funny? It's the same thing. Y'all didn't know that. It's the same thing. It's been the same thing. So they can go into the surrounding countryside and villages and go buy themselves something to eat. Send them away so they can take care of their own self. It's too late, and we in this isolated place. And he answered them in verse 37, or he said to them, he said, won't you give them something to eat? And they said to him, should we go buy 200 denarii worth of bread? I think that was about a month or two salary. And give them something to eat? Should we go buy them something to eat? Should we go buy them something to eat? Man, we're going to talk about all this. It's some good stuff. In verse 38, he said to them, how many loaves do you have? Go look. And when they found out, they said, we got 5 and 2 fish. 5 and 2 fish. Verse 39. And he commanded them to sit down. In verse 39, he commanded them to sit down, and he instructed them to have all the people sit down in groups on the green grass. And in 40, he said, and they sat down. It said they sat down in ranks. Ain't that something? My version said they sat down in ranks. Verse 40, by hundreds and by fifties. So they sat down in ranks. Oh, it said the same thing, hundreds and fifties. And 41, he said, when he had taken up the 5 loaves, the 2 fishes, he looked up to heaven, and he blessed, and he brake the loaves and gave them to his disciples and set before them. And the 2 fishes divided among them all. Then he took the loaves and the 2 fishes and looked up to heaven. He blessed and broke the loaves. He kept giving them to his disciples to set before the people. He also divided 2 fish among them all. The 2 fish and the 5 loaves. Ain't that something? And in verse 42 it said, and they did all eat. Not only did they eat, but they was filled. Everyone ate and was filled. And they took up, verse 43, and they took up 12 baskets full of the fragments and of the fish. Ain't there something? They're leftovers. And this last verse, verse 44, and they that did eat of the loaves were about 5,000 men. And probably most of them had wives. And if they got wives, most of them had kids. And so that's why some people think it was easy 15,000. If not 15, probably 20. And so here we go, verse 35. It's something. You know, and I know all of us, we experience those times when it seems like we don't have enough, or we are not enough. Y'all, we see all this in this. All of this. And he's going to teach us something about just having enough, being enough. And I wanted to see all of these points that's going to jump out in this. And we can start at verse 35. And I mean, stuff was just jumping out at me. Mark 6 and 35. Just that first part, when it was already late. Whew, Jesus. Because But sometimes it's late. You know, evening time or late time symbolizes this transition, right? It it symbolized the end of what I can provide, of what I can do. It symbolizes this uncertainty. Like, man, how are we going to make this happen? It is right at that point where we recognize we don't have what it takes to solve the problem. That's when it's already late. I don't know if you ever been in them already late situations. You know, it's something when we reach that limit of our ability to manage. You know, we cool when we can handle it. But when we get to that place where we can't manage it. And the Bible said when it was already late, they couldn't fix it. You know, they couldn't go to Golden Corral. They had closed. It was already late. And I guess we can get a couple of lessons off of this next statement. You see, his disciples approached him. I pay attention to Mark is putting some good details. You notice they approached him. They came to him. They were the one that initiated the conversation. And this is good and bad. Because you notice the crowd didn't complain. And I'm going to tell you something about church folk. If it's a problem, they'll find it. The crowd wasn't complaining. The crowd didn't have a problem with it being late and they being in this deserted place. In fact, they were the one that ran to the deserted place. So this is something to me, and you know, and whatever we get out of this, just understand, I want you to see that they approached him. The disciples came to him with the problem. And it was two things. This place is a wilderness and it's already late. Jesus, it's late. And we in this wilderness. And I'm going to tell you something. I saw two things with this, because one thing on the good side, I think mature Christians, mature believers, they often become aware. They are aware of what is needed. Mature believers. It was good. They saw it. And they said, hey, Jesus, we got two issues. We're in the wilderness and it's late. These folks going to need to eat. So they saw it, but on the other side, now I've been doing ministry for a long time, and I've seen people create problems that really wasn't problems. Let me see what they call it. You met that, I think they call her that Downer Debbie or what? Huh? What they call it, Kayla? Like there's some people can find a problem in anything. But I noticed this in the text that they came to him. They brought the situation to him. And they said it's already too late, Jesus. We got some problems. And here's the question. The question is not whether we bring those needs to Christ. The question is, do we present him with our conclusion? Because, see, they had already made some assumptions about what they was going to do. We're going to see that in the next verse. And I notice some people are like that today. Like, they don't ask Jesus for what the solution should be. We're going to notice that in verse 36. Not what you want us to do. We've already made a decision on what we need to do. And I think they said we need to send them away. Well, that's how some people, they are with their situation. Think about you and your situation. I want you to see yourself in this particular thing. In your wilderness could be a whole lot of different stuff. But they came to him not to ask what he wanted them to do. They came to him with a decision that they had already came up with. They had identified the problem. And the problem was, this is a wilderness and it's late. And so when we look at verse 36, we kind of see they already came up with a solution. This is a desolate place, a desert. It's funny. It is a wilderness. Josh, you can go back. You can go back to 35. It's a wilderness. It is in the wilderness that God fed Israel with manna. In that place, nothing should flourish. I want us to see that because somebody may be in a wilderness today. And nothing flourishing, or nothing should be flourishing. But in that same place, Israel learned that man shall not live by bread alone. They learned in the wilderness how to depend on God. In the wilderness, in this place where nothing should grow. Nothing should come forth. Yet throughout the scripture, we see it is in the wilderness where God provides. I'm going to tell you, Mark is, and I know with us, we read these texts and it becomes just, it's text. But Mark is setting this thing up. His readers understand what he's talking about. Man, they know the stories. He was setting it up, and the disciples should have known. It's the same play. We're in the wilderness. God got to provide. He's about to do a miracle. Should we go in town and buy a whole bunch of food? God is about to do something. And like, I don't know who are in their wilderness. God is about to do something. I was studying this, and I remember how Elijah was fed by the ravens. God provided, abundance of quail in the wilderness. In Rephidim, that water flowed from a rock. God would provide in those places that we think should nothing be flourishing. Man, God loved to get us in those places. The wilderness always become the stage on which God's glory is magnified. In the place of the wilderness. It is always the stage God uses to display his glory. The disciples, their perspective, we look at it, it was understandable. I think if I'd have saw them people, I'd have said the same thing. They got to go do something. It's late, they're hungry, and we got to do something. It was correct. It was factually right. But here's the problem, just like us, and I hope we see ourselves in this. Yeah, it was factually right, but it was interpreted wrong because it left out Christ. Same way we do. Man, I'm hoping somebody getting this because you in a situation where your limit, you done ran past your limit. And your interpretation of the situation is right. But what you hadn't factored in is Christ with you. That's what they didn't realize. And I think throughout the Gospel of Mark, Mark is trying to show us this. Like, who is this man? In every story, you got the man with you. How can you be in a desolate place? How can any place be desolate when you got the Creator with you? It's almost impossible. And I think this is what Mark was trying to show them as he's trying to show us. You done forgot who's with you. No place you can walk in that could be desolate. There is no desolate place with the Creator on board. Y'all, Mark is giving this lesson, and he's explaining their situation, but I'm telling you, it is exactly like ours. We do the exact same thing. We see it. We see it right. It's right. Man, we don't have the money, but we don't factor him into the situation. And that's what they didn't do. Their assumptions, it was understandable. It was. But their conclusion was wrong because it left Jesus out of the equation. Their attention was focused on the environment. And I'm going to tell you, Mark trying to bring us to Christ. The disciples define reality by the place. Jesus defined the reality by his presence. And everybody ain't going to get that statement. They defined their reality. Their reality was defined by the place that they were in. And Mark is trying to get us to a place where we define our reality by his presence. That defines the reality. So the reality was that it wasn't a desert place, an isolated place, a place where nothing flourished. It was always his presence. The exact same thing that happened to the children of Israel in the wilderness. How can they miss it? Did God not sustain them in the wilderness for 40 years? My old pastor, he used to say that all the time, and their shoes never wore out. I can hear him now when I'm saying that. And the soles of their shoes never wore out. Y'all hear me? I wrote this down. The greatest obstacle to faith is not the difficult of the circumstance, but it is the diminished view of Christ. The issue, y'all hear me, the issue has always been the identity of Jesus. That's always been the issue. Who is this man? And Mark lays it story after story, miracle after miracle. This man is Christ. It's already late. His disciples approached him and said, this place is a wilderness. We're going to go to verse 36. It's late. And they said, y'all see that? You know, when I saw that, I kind of laughed because I'm telling you, that's how some people approach ministry. Send them away. I said that their solution, it was reasonable, but it was insufficient because it was built on human wisdom. Think about it. It was built on what they knew, not who was present with them. It was built on this human presence. And I want us to see something because I think their answer kind of exposes these two different views of how we see the world. The disciples saw a problem, and many people see the problem. You know, he gonna do something, and I learned this from Jesus, and y'all gonna see it in here. So if you ever ask me something, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, so that's where Apostle get that from. He got that from Jesus. He taught me something. But these two opposing views of how people see the world, yet the disciples saw a problem. They saw a problem, and we got to fix that problem. That's how they saw it. Jesus saw an opportunity. It's an opportunity that I can reveal the kingdom of God. Man, I need for us to get on that level, not to see it as a problem to be solved, but an opportunity to show the kingdom, show God's mercy, show his grace. But they said, send them away. And y'all, they ain't asking him. I hope y'all can see that. They ain't asking him, should we send them away? Although they going to ask something. Probably because of his response. But they said, send them away so they can go into the surrounding countryside and villages and by themselves something to eat. And I'm saying to myself, didn't he just not say in verse 34 that the people looked like they were sheep without a shepherd? And if you send them away, ain't you scattering the sheep? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. So their solution was to scatter the sheep. Y'all, some of us is just like this. Now, and think about the whole context. You know, they just got back from doing all this ministry, remember? So think about all that. They coming home, they tired, Jesus trying to get them away to get some rest, and then here come some people. Now I know some of y'all will be worse than this. I'm tired, Jesus. And send the people home. I'm tired of fooling with the people. I done heard preachers say, I don't even like people. How you not like people and you in the people business? Like you gotta like people if you're gonna get them in the kingdom. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm different. They said send them away. Look like they scattering the sheep. You know what I thought about? Because some of us in the church, we don't think like shepherds. We think like managers. You know, we lead our group like, you do know you're in ministry, right? I can pick on Donna. Donna got the bullets. But and I know that's a hard group to manage, but I know Donna lead them like a shepherd. You know, you got to lead your group like a shepherd. Jackie, you got to lead your group like a shepherd, not a manager. A manager say send them away and let them fend for themselves. Compassion. You know, and I want you to know that I don't think they was heartless. Not the disciples. And I don't think some of us are. I think we just practical, right? But here's the thing. Ministry is not driven by convenience. It's driven by compassion. That's a bad leader that wants it easy for them and hard for the people that they're serving. Now, you go out to eat at a fancy restaurant, and you paying whatever that place y'all went to, Josh, you and Kay, and you told me y'all stuff came up to like $200 for 2 plates. I ain't paying $200 for 2 plates. No, not going to happen. I say them restaurants for y'all bougie people. But one thing Josh told me, he was like, Daddy, the service was amazing. You know, we kind of forget that we serving the people. Leaders, you serving. They ain't serving you. You wouldn't like it if you went to a restaurant, you had to pay all this money for this restaurant, and you had to get up and get your own food, fix your own drinks, and do all your own. You know, you do know you serving the people, right? They not serving you. I don't know why these people ain't on time, but you know, you the server, so you have to be on time. Oh, anyway, okay. Back to the scheduled program. I want us to see this in this. Because when it stopped being a convenience, we don't want to do it any longer. It don't fit my schedule. The disciple plan was for them to scatter, right? And for them to individually solve their own problem. Send them away. They need to go away. They need to go, in the town. They need to go to their own place and get them something to eat. Buy their own food, get them something to eat. Their plan was to scatter them and for them to individually solve their own problem. Jesus' plan was to gather them. Y'all see that? We been coming up with all these formulas and systems. He got us the system. in verse 37. No, his goal was to bring them together. What the disciples was going to do, it was going to produce fragmentation. And if I got leaders in here, and if you are over a group and you see your group fragmenting, because you're sending them away. No, Jesus was trying to bring them together, community. He wanted them together. We're going to do this together. And I love what he said in verse 37. Man, I learned this from Jesus in ministry a long time ago. And people stopped doing this to me. Because when they came up to me with a problem, I used to say, well, God showed it to you. He ain't showed it to me. You fix it. And this is what Jesus said in verse 37. They came with the problem. Them people are hungry and it's late. We're in a desert place. Jesus shifted that thing. Y'all see it? He turned it around. He took it from the people and he put it on the disciples. And he said, you give them something to eat. Good Lord of mercy. 5,000 men, probably 15,000 women and children. But I love the disciples' response. He responded to them, you give them something to eat. They said to him, should we? Whew, man, I saw that in the text. I almost threw my Bible in my office. And I'm going to tell you why, because most people don't say, should we? Most people say, shouldn't you? Okay. Mama started laughing. See, Mama was a first lady, so she get it. Because he said, you do it. They came to him with a problem. He said, you fix it. You feed them. And I love the response because they said, should we? They didn't say, Apostle, you probably need to go do such and such and such and such. And I'll be saying to myself, you don't think I'm already doing a whole lot of other jobs? Should we go buy 200 denarii worth of bread and give them something to eat? Man, that was a good thing. Christ is something. He flipped that thing and he said, you should do it. And y'all, it's the same way today. It is the exact same way today. He'll provide through us. And we do it. He ain't coming down here to do nothing himself. If it's going to get done on this planet, in this realm, then we're going to have to do it. We're the ones that's going to have to do it. Trust me. Good or bad, we do it. That's how it always been. He provides. We are the servants. We serve his people. And they receive his provision through the people that he sends. So they said, shall we go by? I like that. Not how you gonna do it. How you gonna fix it, Jesus? And I want us to understand something, that the issue is not bread or how much bread or how much food. The issue has always been perception. Perception. And in our situation, it's not the bread, it's not the money, it's perception. I did a little thing here, and I think most of us probably really didn't get it. Y'all remember I told you put your hand in your pocket, and I first told you about all of these wonderful things that God had in store for you in heavenly places. And then I told you to stick your hand in your pocket. And God gave me this simple statement that that's not all you got. Because some of us think what we got is all we got. And it is not all we got. Man, we got this entire heavenly riches in glory. It is not all we got. And so the issue is not bread, it's always perception. Should we go buy him something to eat? Really? And in verse 38, man, I done ran out of time, but I'm going to go fast. He asked them, how many loaves do you have? It's never about what you ain't got. It's always about what you do have. What you got. What do you have? And then he said, y'all see that? Go look. Go do inventory on what you got. And when they found out, they said, we got 5 and 2 fishes. Probably where that dude got that song, I got 5 on it. Probably this. Y'all funny. We are that church. I got 5 loaves on it, Jesus. He told them to go look. They went and looked. They found out. They did inventory. Why did he ask them to go count? Ain't there something? He already knew, right? I'm going to tell you something. God never asked a question to find out information. Remember, it is always to give us revelation. Go see what you got. He wanted them to know. He didn't want no confusion that it was God that was going to do this. I'm going to do this. So I want you to go look and count what you got. Well, it ain't got but $32, and that light bill is $150. Go look and see what you got. And in 39, in verse 39, how many loaves you have, go look. When they found out, then he instructed them to have all the people to sit down in groups on the green grass. And I'm going to tell you, the 23rd Psalms, we did that last week. It ought to just open up to you when you read this. He instructed them to have all the people to sit down in groups. He put them in ranks. Man, God does stuff decent and in order. And when it's in order, he can bless it. Somebody better hear me. Because when it's out of order, he can't bless it. He can't bless what the man done wrote you every week if it's out of order. He can bless it when it's in order. Man, he set them down. He is an orderly God. You know, it's something, and you think it's 5,000 men and 15,000 women and children. You know, we got like 170, and I guarantee you, Canaan would probably have to bring out some shoes, some belts, some switches to get everybody to sit down. I want us to see that, because not only did he command demons, but he ordered them to sit down. Man, there's all kind of miracles in this. I know we just look at it like, he told them to sit down in the green grass. 20,000 people. Man, powerful. Verse 40. Come on, y'all. We got to fly through this, and then we're gonna get some questions. So they sat down in ranks. Y'all see that? In ranks of hundreds and fifties. Here ought not to be no respect of person. Okay, you don't know God. But anyway, verse 41. Thank y'all. Y'all just moved on there. Oh, he got respect of person. Everybody don't sit with everybody. Everybody can't be with everybody. See, I'll be seeing everything in the scripture. He just didn't have any old body sitting over here and any old body sitting over there. No. They was in rank. It's with who they were supposed to be with. You know, Moses did it with the 12 tribes of Israel. You know, they didn't have the tribe of Gad over here with the tribe of Judah. No, everybody sat in ranks. Man, God is an orderly God. Then he took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, and he looked up to heaven. Look at this communion he about to have. He blessed and broke the loaves. He kept giving them to his disciples to set before the people. Man, I wish I could have seen this. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. Can you imagine? It just kept flowing and kept flowing and kept flowing. And that's how some of y'all money do. I know you saying them people don't pay me nothing, but man, I sure can pay my bills. And it just keep flowing. In verse 42, he blessed the God who was able. Everyone ate and was filled. Everyone. He had them to count, and they knew what it was. 5 loaves, 2 fishes. Everyone ate and was filled. Verse 43, they was good to go. And not only was they filled, but they didn't waste nothing. And you know, I'm one of them ones that ask, how did it end up being 12 baskets? Someone has some empty baskets out there, something, I don't know. But they picked up 12 baskets full of pieces of bread and fish. I mean, same thing in the wilderness. God will provide in places. Matter of fact, I said that Sunday. You know, people be in places and other folk are looking them to fail in those places because those places are places of failure. And that's the place where God gonna do his thing. It's a stage. Y'all, we gotta put him in the situation. Stop taking him out of the situation. This is what the disciples did. They didn't factor him in. I get it. It's late. There's a lot of people. We don't have anything to eat. But we got the source with us. In verse 44, he give us the count, 5,000. Now those who ate, the loaves were 5,000 men. That's amazing. Questions, anybody? Questions? Yep. Always. Always. Him plus you is more than enough. That's really what this is all about. Him plus you is more than enough. You good. All right, let me get everybody coming this way. Come on, Malik. That's right. That's right. That's right. Come on. Always. Always. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's right. Factor him into it. Let me get Tierra, then I get you, bro, Malcolm. Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you are exactly right. We sometimes do it. But in it all, he's sometimes teaching us. You know, ain't it funny? We try to project it on other people. Like a situation can happen, and we try to project it on. No, he's trying to teach you. You the one that created it, so he's trying to teach you something. So now, listen and learn. Come on, bro, Malcolm. Exactly. Hmm. That's right. That's right. All of that was. You are exactly right. Because in my studies, Mark knew is that to us, 12, 12, just 12 is a number after 11. But to them, they understood it. 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 stones standing there. They understood all of the symbolism. They got it. Like, oh my goodness. Because he was trying to tell them, y'all, this is God walking with you. You have no idea that this is God, the creator of the universe, is with you. But we still kind of the same way we going through our little situation. Not realizing he's with us. Anybody else had their hand up? Kaylee, you had your hand up? Okay, you praise the Lord. Come on. Come on. What's a practical way? Compassion. Compassion. Compassion changes that. You have some pastors, they are managers. And y'all done been under me. Y'all would, it'll take y'all about 3 Sundays. Y'all be like, I'm coming on back to the Security Foundation. Because some people lead like managers. They are great managers. You know, you have them doing paperwork. You don't have them leading people. Boy, they can destroy something. Compassion. Having compassion. And so, our hearts and minds clear. Y'all, I want to end with this. Him plus you is more than enough. If God is for you, who can be against you? You plus him is enough. If he's on board, it is enough. I want us to understand that it is enough, it is enough, it is enough. Our hearts and minds clear. Like y'all can do anything. Come on, Minister Virgil. It does. That's right. That's good. So you're gonna do the color green. That's how we do the rainbow lunch. That was good. That was good, preacher. Yeah, so true. So true. And I'm hoping we read this text and Psalms 23 kind of just, I mean, it opens up to us as to what he does for us. He is truly our shepherd. I'm telling you, he is so in love with you, and he is with you in any situation. I don't want you to forget that. Add him to the equation. You know, you can see it right. I know you seeing it right. It is factual with what you are seeing. But when you add him to the equation, it changes the reality totally. Our hearts and minds clear. We good. I kind of talked tonight. I just talked kind of like I preach. Let us stand. Y'all don't forget, man, our assembly is coming, and I am so ready for it. It's next week, so let's get geared up for it. Prepare to be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then, of course, Sunday morning. And it's going to be 7 o'clock. We are not going to do Bible study next week because we're going to start this assembly. Her first time speaking, Jacqueline Thomas, going to be our speaker for Thursday night. And Friday night is going to be our prophetic night. Our prophets is going to go forth. And I am excited about Saturday. I think Pastor she going to do it with me, hopefully.